Hey, tarot fans, welcome to Timeless Tarot. I'm Cindy, and this is your Halloween edition of the weekly Yours and Theirs, your energy, their person's energy, and the energy of the connection going into the weekend beginning October 31st, which is Halloween. Happy Halloween. Halloween is my favorite time of the year, which I expect doesn't surprise anyone. If you follow the Wheel of the Year, if you are into Wiccan traditions or Gaelic traditions, it is also All Hallows Eve, which is the eve before the astrological midpoint between the autumn equinox, Mabon, and Yule, the winter solstice. It's called Soen. I think the Irish pronounce it a little bit differently. Gaelic, it's Soen, and in North America, we just commonly celebrates Halloween. So I hope you are having fun. It's a very social weekend, so this is a great time to find out a little bit about what's going on in your connection. So it's a pick a card. I'm going to pull 3 charms out of this bag I'm jingling here. And what I want you to do is just pick whichever charm is most attractive to you, and then you'll be in groups 1, 2, or 3. I will then pull a 9-card spread for each of the groups, which will be 3 cards for your energy toward your person and the connection itself, 3 cards for your person's energy toward you and the connection itself, and then 3 cards just for the state of the connection, generally speaking. And that is just for this weekend. It's not really designed to be a super long-term reading. It's really just the energy going into this Halloween weekend, which I'm hoping everybody's going to have a fantastic time, because I'm planning on having a party and I'm planning on having a fantastic time. So I hope everyone else is too. Just before I get started, if this is the kind of content you're looking for, if you're interested in tarot, check out the description box below. I have regular several readings weekly, as well as a Saturday school. Please like, share, and subscribe if it's something that interests you, or you know anybody that it might interest. Just send it along to them, and maybe they'll start watching the channel too. It really helps me out a lot. All right, so let's see. First charm we have here. What do we got? Oh, very Halloweeny. We have a butterfly, but it's a very interesting butterfly in that the midsection is a coffin, and it's flanked by 2 skulls as wings. You can see that there. So the vibe I'm getting off that is a very strong closure of a last chapter and transformation. It looks pretty scary, but I think it's actually kind of perfect for group 1 on this Halloween, All Hallows Eve. Very cool. So, okay, that's you, group 1. For group 2, oh, there's going to be timestamps too. So if you are in group 3, you don't have to watch the whole video unless you want to, of course, which is certainly welcome, but you can skip down to the timestamps in the description box below. I got a whole handful there. Oh, this is also really super cool. This is a really tiny charm, but just skip down to the timestamps and you can skip ahead to your group. This is 2 wings with a heart in the center, which is also a very Celtic design. So it's a flying wings, the heart, the love, takes flight. So that's really cool. That's group 2, if that's your charm. And then a wooden charm. Ooh, okay. And this is for group 3, and the strong vibe I'm getting off of that, I'm going to have to double check because this isn't a true Icelandic rune. So I'll pull out the description box here, but the charm, the feel I'm getting off of this is cooperation, looks to me, straight off the hop. So if this is the rune that you're drawn to, this is you, group 3. So to recap, we have group 1, our skull butterflies, very Halloweeny charm with a coffin in the center there. This is you if you are group 2, which is the little golden heart with the wings. I just feel expansion, love expansion. Cool. And here is your charm, a little wooden charm. If you are drawn toward this, you are in group 3. All right, so group 1, again, this is you. If this is your charm, we're going to start right now. So group 1, 3 cards for you. With that overview, general vibe attached to the charm of transformation. All right, 3 cards for group 1. Let's see what your energy, the energy you're bringing to the table for this weekend toward your significant other and toward the connection itself. 3 cards for you, 3 cards for them, your person, their general energy that they're bringing toward you and toward the connection this weekend. And then the last 3 cards for the connection itself, the energy surrounding the connection itself this weekend. Okay, group 1. Card under the deck, the subconscious energy that you that is surrounding you, and you may be aware of, may not be aware of. Likely not, given that it's subconscious, it might just be creeping into your consciousness right now, is the 2 of Pentacles, which is change. And it's in the upright, so it's change. Oh, that's strange. The card just fell off. Hang on. Anytime something happens, I actually take it as a very meaningful event. So that was the card for the connection, which I'm not actually sure whether it was originally in the upright, but now it's in the reverse. So I don't know if that was a correction or what. But very interesting. We'll get to that in a moment. So the energy that you're bringing to the table is the 10 of Cups in the upright, Death in the upright. Again, that's a repeat of that charm. And the Fool. That's really great energy, actually. In conjunction with the charm that you chose, that you were most drawn toward, the energy that you're bringing is shared happiness, the end of one chapter, but immediately on that, with the Death card, you get the end of one chapter, quite final, and immediately on that, you get the Fool. So out with the old, in with the new. It looks to be, because you've got that 10 of Cups there, it could be transformational energy in a positive way toward an existing relationship. An existing close relationship. Sometimes the 10 of Cups can indicate some, it's a stage card. You see, like the 10 of Cups is a stage card. They're standing on a stage. So sometimes, especially in the reverse, it can give you a feeling of codependency, or everything looks really great on the surface. But it really isn't. And I kind of get the feeling that that might be the chapter that's closing. I don't think it's necessarily a chapter closing with a person yet. Your energy certainly doesn't look to be closing out a full-on closeout of a relationship. However, there is a definite shift. And to me, it looks like the shift is a renewal, and a renewal in a good way. So I think you're bringing some really super positive, possibly a bit overdue, maybe long overdue energy and energy to this connection. You might have done some thinking and might have had a change of heart. Certainly feeling a lot more optimistic. So that's fantastic. Very happy for you, group 1, on that. Group 2, your person, the energy your person is bringing toward you and toward this connection. By the way, I should mention as well that the roles can be reversed. Usually they aren't, but sometimes they can be reversed. So take it as it resonates. If it doesn't resonate at all, leave it behind. but their energy toward you is the Four of Swords in the reverse, the Three of Pentacles in the upright, and also the Three of Wands in the upright. This is like the perfect receptive energy for the energy that you're bringing. This shows a person who has rested on something, given something a lot of thought, but is now feeling the first stirrings of maybe a little bit of restlessness, wanting to move forward. Doesn't look like there's actual action taken so much as they're ready to. So the energy that I just described about you, that you're bringing to the table, it looks to me like this person is very receptive about receiving it. They've got the Three of Pentacles and the Three of Wands. Those are both cards of cooperation. Threes are always cooperations. Threes are, if you think about it, the threes are where 1 + 1 instead of equaling 2 actually equals 3, because one energy plus another energy combined alchemize, make a third energy, such as in any kind of marriage, or you have you they have them, and then both of you have we. So it's a very cooperative energy, and being pentacles, it's rooted in the 3D, seriously starting to happen, not just in the energetic field, but actually in the 3D, starting to build something. And then there's that Three of Wands there, which is expectation, and the Three of Wands and the Three of Pentacles are in the upright. So we have someone who is receptive after having given it some thought, starting to taking the first steps towards making actualization, the first steps towards making it real, and has a positive outlook and a positive expectation. That's really good. Okay. So the connection itself, the energy that surrounds the connection itself, you get the Hierophant in reverse, the Three of Cups in reverse, and that Devil card that fell off the table, I had to go retrieve, in reverse. That's a little bit more complicated. Again, though, I think I kind of look at it, and I kind of had a moment where I'm like, oh, geez, is this negative? But the overwhelming energy I'm getting is it's actually extremely positive. The energy of the connection, I think, is taking on a more serious tone. This can be read as a lack of support, but it can also be read as a hangover. Maybe that's enough partying for a little while, which I hate to say, because this is my favorite social time of the year, like a wonderful opportunity, but you might have a bit of a hangover. You might actually be adjusting. The two of you as a couple might be going through an adjustment of the way that you do things. The Hierophant in the reverse, in the upright, he represents, you can see these two little acolytes here, he represents the established way of doing things. Now, whether that's the church, whether that's your family construct, whether that's the school that you attend, whether that's the work that you do, this is a hierarchy and the established way of doing things. This way is out the window. We're going to do things in a new way. Usually when it's still like this, it's either, it can be going completely on your own, or it can be still working sort of within the system, but doing things in a slightly different way. There's like a new, I want to say there's a new game in town. There's a new way of doing things, and it may actually include shifting some of your social circle. Some of your social circle may be changing, because it looks to me like you two energies on this table have a pretty good thing going, and you're getting pretty serious about it, and everybody has some pretty positive, optimistic energy for transforming maybe from something that just looks good into something that really is good. And then you're closing out the energy of the connection itself is closing out with the devil in reverse. Going back to the Hierophant, you can see the similarities there. There's two acolytes and one boss, one devil and two chains that these people that are chained to it can release themselves. And it looks to me like they're in the process of doing that. And what they're releasing themselves from are old patterns that no longer work for them. So toxicity is what that's typically called. And sometimes it gets assigned to a person, but really it's just the energy of hanging around long after you should have left. So it doesn't necessarily mean a person or a situation. More often than not, it's an internal switch, and it's a positive transformation internally that will lead you into showing up in your everyday life in a different, more productive way. So overall, group one, it looks like a really great weekend for you. Put in the comments. Let me know what you whether that resonates. But for both of you and the connection, everything looks on track to make some pretty big changes and pretty big positive changes. So that's what I got for you. Hope that helped. Like, share, and subscribe if it did. And now we're going to move on to group two. Group two, you are in group two. Oops, this is such a small charm. I should really maybe remove these super small ones, but you can see there that it is a heart. I hope you can see there. It's a heart with wings. It's a flying heart. Essentially, which is a very Celtic. A lot of Celtic rings and necklaces have that. So that's pretty cool, given that it is on the eve of Samhain, Halloween. So group two, let's pull 3 cards for your energy that you're bringing to your connection and to your person this weekend. And then I'll pull another 3 cards for their energy that they're bringing toward you and the connection. And then I'll pull 3 cards just for the connection itself. All right, 3 cards for you, group two. You get the 5 of Cups in the upright, the King of Pentacles reversed, and the 10 of Cups in the upright. Your person gets the Ace of Swords reversed, the 7 of Wands in the upright, and the King of Wands in the upright, and the Page of Pentacles, Strength in the reverse, and the 2 of Wands for the connection itself. Okay, bottom of the deck, 8 of Swords. All right, so given this charm, this is love in action, love movement, love expanding, is the overall energy of the reading. With that 8 of Swords in the subconscious, the energies that surround you but you may not be aware of. There is definitely a feeling of being trapped. And the cards don't look super bright, but let's get into it. Okay, for your energy, you've got the 5 of Cups in the upright, the King of Pentacles in the reverse, and the 10 of Cups in the upright. The energy, this is someone who is disappointed, and the disappointment involves having resources. It may be that you are feeling that your partner is not sharing enough. It may look on the surface that everything is great. I just talked about this in the last reading, actually, and I used a completely different deck. So this is definitely not a misshuffle of any kind. Not that there ever are. If it ends up on the table, it's supposed to be on the table. Yeah, I get the feeling here that you're bringing to the connection right now is disappointment. You may be feeling that the face of your relationship, the relationship you're living is quite surface, and there's a feeling of resentment. Roles can be reversed. Again, this may be that they're feeling toward you. If it doesn't resonate, flip it around, see if it does, in that way. But if this is you, there's a feeling for sure that you might be putting in more effort than you're receiving in return. A little feeling of resentment, that everything looks fine, but because it might be something that you haven't had a conversation about. It actually looks to be very, very internal on one person's part. So they may not have even shared this. And that would lend to that subconscious feeling of trapped. Might be a difficult discussion that needs to happen. Sometimes, especially if it's a new partnership, like these things have to be negotiated. And sometimes when it's a new partnership, a person, one of the two parties may be acting just by rote. This is the way I've always done relationships in the past. It was set up this way. Finances are this, time, because resources aren't just finances, their time, their support, their creative input. They may have been with a partner previously that did things very differently than you do. So your idea of what is normal, healthy, and expected, it may not be the same as theirs. And in that case, you got to have a conversation. But before that conversation happens, you have to go through the whole process of like, hey, this isn't right, or is it? I don't know. What is this right? Just because I've always done things and structured my relationships one way, does that mean that I always have to? And so I definitely get the feeling that on one person's part, that's what's going on. Probably you. Okay, and for the energy that your person is bringing to the connection, they get the Ace of Swords in the reverse, the Seven of Wands in the upright, and the King of Wands. Well, with that Ace of Swords in the reverse and the Seven of Wands in the upright, this talks about boundaries, caution, particularly side by each like this. That's a lack of trust. Okay, so your person may need some time. I just dropped the card again. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, hang on. We'll get to that. Back to your person. That is a lack of trust. They finish off with the King of Wands, so they are going to take action and confidently. And I think it's going to be resolved. They're not looking for a fight, and they're not looking to be they're not looking to be unreasonable, but they are expecting to be in charge. This King of Wands, he's in charge, he gets things done. So I think but with this caution here, I kind of get the feeling that this might be a newer relationship, and this person might be very used to doing things their own way, and their own way might be very different than your way. So that lack of trust may not come from anything you actually did. It just may be a mismatch, a temporary mismatch in the way you structure relationships, particularly around resources. And I get the feeling that the resources are less about money than they are about time and focus. It may be that your person is in some sort of leadership role, and they don't have as much free time to spend with you, or maybe when they do spend the time with you, they are preoccupied, or they're tired, or they just have boundaries. Maybe they don't want to talk about their work. Some people don't. And maybe you do want to talk about it. Maybe you do want to delve a little deeper. So yeah, there's a conversation coming between you guys, and the good news is it's a conversation that's necessary. And the good news is that everybody's prepared to be reasonable. One of the parties is definitely a bit more cautious than the last. Pardon me, a bit more cautious than the other. And I get the feeling that's because we all have a past. And maybe some of the lessons they learned were good lessons for them in that relationship at the time, but they no longer really apply. That they need to break free from these. Where's my Eight of Swords here? They need to break free from those old patterns. Maybe both of you do. I kind of get the feeling both of you do. You're in a new thing, possibly, or at a new stage of your relationship, and those old patterns of behavior that have worked for you in the past with other people need to be renegotiated. Okay, the energy for the connection itself, you get the Strength in the reverse, the Page of Pentacles in the upright, and the Two of Wands. Yeah. The connection itself is, again, that Strength in the reverse shows a misalignment of passions, of focus, of creative energy. Again, that can go back to that this Seven of Wands that may be being created by all of this caution here. And the Page of Pentacles is learning new things, literally, learning new things in the 3D, not just learning about your emotions, not just learning about your thoughts, but learning about how to actually participate in the physical with new things. And then we've got the Two of Wands closing us out in the upright. And that's a new plan. That's a new plan, positively formed. Two energies coming together to decide how they're going to go forward. So a bit crunchy, a bit crunchy, because these kind of conversations are super important, but nobody likes to have them. Isn't that true of all super important conversations? But that's what I got for you. So put it in the comments. Let me know if that resonated. And now on to group 3. Group 3. I'm going to have to look this up because this charm, they're not Nordic runes. They're just charms that I bought. I'm getting a cooperation vibe off of it, but I'm going to look it up to see what the creator of these runes actually meant it to create before I get too far along. Although I tend to go with my own impressions. All right, where are you? Dun, dun, dun. The rings. Yep, that's a ring. Tying, bonding, typically associated with the color gold. Gold is wisdom. Circumstances involving others. Two things or people interacting with others. Partners, friendships. Okay, I'm going to go with what my original feeling is cooperation. I got a very Three of Pentacles energy off of it the second I looked at it. So if this was the one that you chose, you are in group 3, and the general overall feeling on that is cooperation. So great. I'm going to pull 3 cards for your energies that show your energies that you're bringing into this weekend toward your significant other and the connection. 3 cards for your significant other and the energy that they're bringing toward you and the connection. And then a final 3 cards for the energy of the connection itself. So group 3, you get the Emperor in reverse, the Two of Swords in the upright, and the Sun. Okay. For your person, they get the 10 of Pentacles in the reverse, the Queen of Wands, and the 3 of Cups in the reverse. And for the connection itself, we have the Hermit, we have the 5 of Pentacles, both in the upright, and we have the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, overall, underneath, we got the Fool in reverse for the subconscious energy that you may not be aware of. that's surrounding you, but you may not be aware of. Okay, very strong punch I just got there, that this is a do-over. All right. So there's a pattern here that the two of you have been repeating. And it has to do with the foundation, actually the fundamental foundation of your relationship for at least one of you. And you're about to revisit it. I don't know if you think you got it all worked out, but you don't. It's not hopeless. It might be a little crunchy, but there's a do-over here. You got to go back and revisit something, and that energy is super strong. Fortunately, the overall energy being cooperation, I think the outlook is very good that you might actually accomplish something here, but it might be that whatever aspect of your relationship that is energetically in the spotlight at the moment, it might be something that looked great at the very beginning, but might have been a bit reckless. Someone may have been a bit reckless. Okay. So for your energy, the Emperor in reverse, the Two of Swords in the upright, and the Sun. You are in a holding pattern. And it is a holding pattern related to control. And your attitude is, I'd rather be, you know that saying, it's better to be happy than right? I get the feeling that you would rather be happy than right. You don't want to fight about it. You just want to have a good time. You're going, maybe it's because it's a Halloween weekend and you have a party planned, or you have something positive planned. Now is not the time. I know we have these issues to deal with, but I just want to have fun. Okay. Your person, the energy that they're bringing to this connection is the energy that they're bringing toward you and the energy they're bringing toward this connection is different. The energy that they're not really looking at you, not right now. They are maybe less excited about spending time doing social things. Here's you. I just want to have fun. Girls just want to have fun. I just want to have fun. And here's them. Nope. Nope. And here's them. She ain't looking. You're trying to keep the peace. Oops, it's this way. You're trying to keep the peace. She is not looking at you. She is very confidently looking ahead. And it may be, I don't see any open conflict, but you're not on the same page this weekend. I'm sorry. You're not on the same page this weekend anyway. And it may have something to do with, at least for one person, the feeling of it could have something to do with family issues, like generational family issues. Could be that someone has unresolved family issues. May not even be something that's between the two of you. It can be between the two of you and somebody's mother-in-law kind of thing, or father-in-law. I don't know why the mother-in-laws always get so picked on, but something like that. You're not on the same page. It doesn't look like it's going to break out into any sort of open conflict, but I think at least for this weekend, you guys are at a stalemate. Okay? The energy for the connection itself is the Hermit, the Five of Pentacles, and that Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So again, there's a feeling of going within. Again, it's the original rune of cooperation. Maybe should be called non-cooperation for you two, because even though the energy of cooperation is here, it ain't functioning. The Hermit is gonna retreat, and the other party, whichever one of you is the other party, is feeling a bit left out in the fold. And I think that's probably going to be you, feeling maybe a little bit abandoned, because this Queen of Wands, although she is confident and looking ahead, she is maybe going within to do some, there might be some self-reflection going on there. And again, it closes out with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So this is energy that has been around for a while, that maybe you thought was processed, that's going to come back. It's back again, and it will be, by the looks of things, I don't think it's going to erupt, but it is going to be present, so you might feel the tension. Okay, that's what I got for you. I hope this helped. Please like, share, and subscribe if you made it this far. Check out some of my other videos. I'll have the timestamps in the bottom. And happy Halloween, everyone. I hope you have a blessed Samhain. Cheers.